I recently did a video where I broke down Drake's lawsuit against UMG, the one in which he's suing because of defamation and what he's also claiming as UMG showing preferential treatment to Kendrick Lamar doing that whole extensive rap battle episode you guys remember from a few months ago. Well, I invited comments, and I'm so glad I got some. Now, I didn't get a lot of comments that agreed with me, and which is totally fine. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I asked you to give me your thoughts and opinions, and a few of you let me know and know in certain terms that what I was saying had somehow defamed Kendrick Lamar in a way that I was spreading lies about what was going on as far as this situation with Drake and Kendrick. Well, I just want to make this video to clear up some things because I do look at the comments and I do take you guys' thoughts and suggestions, and I do think about what you had to say. And while I don't think that what I'm saying has to do with specifically showing favoritism to one side or the other, I do want to address my intention. So while I know there are a lot of people out there that are passionate about this thing, they feel like what Drake did is damaging the culture. That this lawsuit can't do anything but give a negative light to hip hop, and if anything, it's breaking the rule. You just don't go to court over rap battles. You go back to the studio and you record another track and you get them back, and everybody keeps it moving and keeps it jumping. I get that argument. I definitely understand that, and if you had spoken to me, or if I had done a video a few weeks back when this thing first broke, I might have been on your side as well, and I might have also pointed out that this is not something that is truly a hip hop thing to do, as a lot of people are reminding me. But what my point was is that we're beyond that now. The lawsuit was filed several weeks ago, and at this point now, I don't think anyone's going to change Drake's mind about it. So I thought what a good thing might be to do is to at least start to kind of break down the argument and review his side of the story. Now, we can continue to argue about whether or not he should or shouldn't be doing it. There are plenty of YouTubers out there, getting thousands of views, simply because everyone is all on the same bandwagon that this is a horrible thing that Drake is doing and he's ruining his career and he's ruining hip hop. I know those YouTubers are out there. There are plenty of them. But what I wanted to offer on this channel was a counter to that. A place where you could actually go and look at some of the arguments being made in the case itself, not simply whether or not it should or shouldn't have happened. As far as I'm concerned, that horse has already left the barn. We're already down the road, and I'm just trying to stay up with it. So that's what the purpose of that video was. We went through a couple of the reasons. One of the most interesting ones to me, again, was the one where Drake is saying that UMG was kind of playing them both. And that's the part about this that bothers me the most, is not so much what Drake is doing or what Kendrick did or is accused of doing. What it bothers me the most about this case is how the record label, though they appear to be siding with Kendrick Lamar, with the statement they issued, they basically said that they're going to stand behind any artist. They didn't even specifically name Kendrick. They just said they would stand behind their artist or any artist who could directly or indirectly be harmed by what Drake and people like Drake are doing when they ask to see the books. Now, guys, this is going on all throughout the music business. So first off, I just want to say it's a very music business thing for an artist to want to see the books, for an artist to suspect something fishy is going on with their paper and to want to see what could be causing it. Now, the accusations may seem wild, but when you look at it, when you think about the money that's changing hands and the outcomes that these people are pursuing, it's not the most unbelievable thing, is all I'm saying. If you look at the fact that these things are already shown to be true, the fact that Kendrick was on a temporary trial basis with UMG. UMG was out to prove that they could move his music very, very quickly, which is exactly what happened. Drake also claims that these numbers, these statements and the allegations that are put forth in the records also caused a big damage to his brand, something you can't just reverse or correct by coming out with another hot diss record. So I think if Drake could have resolved this, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, I'm just looking at it objectively, but I think if Drake felt like he could have resolved this with another diss record, he would have. But obviously, I don't think that you could come back lyrically from that without going in the gutter further. So Drake had two options: go deeper into the gutter, which wasn't going to benefit anybody, or I could seek out my grievances in court. Now you may not agree with it, but those were his options, and that's what he chose to do. And like I said, we're kind of beyond that now. I mean, getting mad at me doesn't really do anything to prevent that. Drake is already in court. As a matter of fact, speaking of court, the purpose of this video was, again, just to kind of clear up that whole thing about me saying that Drake is damaging hip hop, and me agreeing with Drake's lawsuit somehow and supporting it. Nothing could be further from the truth. While I do support anybody's effort to clear their name when they feel they've been wronged, how they go about it is going to depend on the situation at hand. Like I just laid out the couple of options that I feel Drake had. There's also a third option. He could have simply just let it go. But I think if he had done so, we might miss out on an opportunity to really understand what's being done here. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like if the claims that Drake is making are true, that it is a case where the record label is playing both artists against one another, and basically, I think they're doing Kendrick the worst deal. I mean, because think about it. Kendrick is basically, his music is basically a product that they distribute. And they're saying we're not going to have any checks on what our artists say, and we're going to just allow our artists to say whatever they want. We're not going to provide them any guidance, any structure. We're just going to let them do whatever they want. And when things like this happen, when they run into trouble, we're just going to deny it and say, hey, that's artistic expression. It's just songs, and we got nothing to do with it. That is the safest position for them to take, because regardless, again, they still are going to get paid. I did not hear them specifically come out and say, hey, we are going to stand by Kendrick Lamar. We agree with what he said. We agree with the content. We support it, and we're willing to back it up with our dollars. That's not what they have actually said. Their statement distances themselves from Kendrick Lamar in case this thing gets hotter down the road. Now, obviously, this case, and like I said yesterday, it's about UMG. And UMG is obviously bothered because guess what happened? I got this out of allhiphop.com. Exclusive. Drake's explosive lawsuit delayed as wildfires burn UMG's resources. Come on, guys. This is a little bit questionable. And again, it only serves the fact that there may be more there than we initially thought. Because if you're UMG and you just gave a statement a few weeks ago saying how there's no there, that you're not bothered by this case, then why is it that you're going to Drake and you're asking Drake to extend the time that you have to respond? And that's what this article is going to talk about. It's going to talk about the fact that UMG is actually going to Drake and asking Drake and the judge, can they get more time to prepare their case? And guess what? They're blaming, of all things, the LA wildfires. Yes, apparently the LA wildfires have caused their lawyers that they happen to hire and their staffers such hardship that they're not going to be able to actually respond to Drake's statements for at least a month or so. And that's what we're going to check out in this article, guys. Really interesting how all of a sudden Drake, who had no case apparently, is now being asked to allow them additional time to prepare a response to his arguments. I think that's indicative of the fact that UMG has to now try to go back, and take this thing a lot more serious. Check it out. It says Drake's legal battle with Universal Music Group over a controversial diss track is being delayed after the wildfires in Los Angeles caused a delay in the record label's defense. So you mean to tell me the poor people of LA, while their homes are burning, record label execs and other people in corporate America are using this unfortunate event to get out of trouble they're in? Wow, this is crazy. Check it out. It says UMG, the defendant in the high-profile lawsuit filed by the Canadian rap star, has requested a 34-day extension to respond to the claims, citing the impact of the natural disaster on its executive and legal team. Now, you mean to tell me this huge record label doesn't have lawyers in other states that can take a look at this and prepare a statement, that you have to have lawyers where the fires happen to be in Los Angeles. That's the only place you can find a lawyer, apparently. It says UMG's lawyer, Nicholas P. Crowell, submitted a formal request to the court explaining the urgent need for additional time. We request this extension because the wildfires in Los Angeles have greatly impacted defendants' executive and legal teams. The extension from the court would enable sufficient time to respond. Okay, 34 days. You guys need 34 days to respond to a lawsuit that you've already had several weeks out there to respond to. So we're talking 2 months. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how long these things usually take, but we do have UMG's statement that there's just simply no there there. And to say that there's no there there and you need 2 months to tell it, I find that a little questionable at best. It goes on to say, according to the file, this led to the rapper alleges that UMG approved and promoted the track, which he claims falsely portrays him as a pedo. According to the filing, this led to real-world consequences, including violence at the artist's Toronto home. It goes on to talk about the May shooting. It goes on to say, Crowell also emphasized that it was UMG's first extension request and noted the plaintiff's consent to the delay. So the plaintiff, being Drake, has said, hey, no problem. You want more time? You take it. Truth is on my side, according to Drake. Now, again, this is all based on Drake's side of the story, which I don't feel is really getting out there. And I feel a little bit of a duty to make sure both sides get out there because that's what media does. It says, while UMG denies Drake's accusations, describing the lawsuit as an attempt to suppress artistic expression in hip-hop, Drake's legal team has painted a picture of corporate irresponsibility. And I'll just say corporate corruption. You know, Drake is actually alleged corporate corruption. Guys, remember from the video from yesterday, you can definitely go check that out. But Drake is claiming that they suppressed his brand, ruined his brand on purpose to lower his negotiation leverage, while at the same time showing Kendrick Lamar how well they can promote his album by any means necessary, including destroying Drake's reputation. So that's a pretty big, heavy accusation, and we're going to find out if there's any there. But I've already apparently come to the conclusion that there is, because 34-day extension for something that really should just be out of the way and in the rear view because you didn't do anything, to me is a beginning to indicate that the UMG, like I said, is sweating this at least a little bit. But we're going to continue to track this, guys. Again, I'd love for some comments down in the comment section, guys, how you feel about this delay being done by UMG. And let me leave you guys with a final thought. Corporations really feel like they're untouchable. I've worked for a few myself, and I've actually been in management and high levels of organizations where I actually have seen planning being done that isn't necessarily on the side of the employees, in which Drake and Kendrick Lamar basically are the UMG. You know, the company's going to look out for its own bottom line, and it's going to leverage what it has to leverage. And it's going to push the boundaries to what's ethical or not. And that's what the courts are for. The courts are there to serve as a border, as a barrier, you know, as a limitation on how far someone can go with something. And Drake is just choosing to exercise that option. And again, can't fault him for it. But just know that just because someone goes and files in court a complaint doesn't necessarily mean they're not hip hop. It doesn't necessarily mean that they want to abandon the culture. It just simply means that there's a business stake that's in jeopardy based on the actions of another party, and you're going to the court before it gets any worse. Okay, like I said, Drake only has a couple of options before things get, you know, on a negative list of options. So I think that's what you want to do, is you want to try to air that out in the courtroom and not anywhere else. But that's all I got to say on this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this. UMG asking for a delay because apparently the fires in LA are causing them to not be able to prepare their case. Still have a hard time wrapping my head around that one, trying to figure out what it could be. We'll see what the judge says. Hopefully the judge, if they can't give a compelling reason other than wildfires, hopefully the judge doesn't play that, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we're just following, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Real Conservative. Again, we like to just look at everything in politics, entertainment, pop culture through a conservative lens, because let's face it, the liberals, they kind of get in their feelings a little bit. And sometimes this stuff needs a more, objective view. And we want to show everybody, that, there's two sides to every story. And how you come out of it just based on how you interpret the facts. But I'm going to be here to give them to you. So y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next one. Peace.